I love fish. Let me tell you, fish is so healthy for you. Omega-3s, it's got plenty of antioxidants, high in protein. And you know something else? It's paleo. And we're going to be making a cool appetizer using smoked salmon. And this is simply called smoked salmon canapes. So we're going to make this. I'm going to show you a real cool style on how to make the food look cool on the plate. And we're going to put them out there. People can either help themselves or you can pass them around to guests. But let's get busy making salmon canapes in the test kitchen. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my kitchen. We're going to talk about a wonderful appetizer, paleo style, of course. And this is going to be my smoked salmon canapes. And basically how we're going to make this, I'm going to go through the ingredients with you real quick. 3 ounces of smoked salmon. Of course, this is organic, meaning that it is not farm raised. This is wild salmon. Okay, very, very important you get that. I have a tablespoon of peas, a teaspoon of ground pepper. I have a teaspoon of chopped fresh basil, a teaspoon of olive oil. I have caviar, a teaspoon of caviar, but I keep it in the container so I can continue to use it, so the caviar is in here. And then I have a half a lemon. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to first of all make the sauce to stuff the salmon wrap with, and then we're going to chill it, and then we're going to make the what I like to call the glaze for the salmon, and then we're going to use that glaze to just simply season it on the plate before we serve it. So basically that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to also show you some really cool ideas on how to serve things like this, because obviously you're asking yourself, well, am I going to eat on a cracker, or am I going to have a piece of bread with it? And obviously in a paleo way of eating that is not the case, because you can't eat that. So I'm going to show you how to use a spoon and a fork to really make this look really cool. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the salmon prepared for the strips. We're going to make the sauce, and then we're going to chill the sauce and come back and finish it up with our basil dressing that we're going to put on the plate. Okay, so let's get started. Okay folks, right now I've got my salmon here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just open it up so you can see it, right? It's a nice very thin slice. You want to make sure you got some slices like this so you can make some decent strips out of it. I'm just going to open it up like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to go ahead and cut it like this to make strips. So I should be able to get at least 3 or 4 from each one. Okay, so we're going to get started, and I'm going to go ahead and cut right here. I'm going to make one right here. So there's 1 strip right there. 2 strips right here. And be careful with it so that you're not messing up the kind of strip you need so that it doesn't fall apart. This one right here, this right here, I can cut like this, but it's going to be pretty thin up here. So I'm just going to leave this as a strip. So I have a 3rd strip here. I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I got 1 strip there, 1 strip here, and again I've got the same situation here. If I cut that, it's going to be too thin, so I'm just going to keep the whole strip like this. We're going to end up making 6 of these. Okay? And this really does depend on what your salmon looks like. So now we're going to get started and make the sauce. Okay, I have a bowl right here, a nice small stainless steel bowl, and I'm just going to go ahead and take a spoon, put my mayonnaise in there. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and take the peas, add those in there. I'm going to take the pepper and add that in there. Then I'm going to go ahead and squeeze just a little lemon, not a lot, just enough to make it a little liquidy. Maybe like a teaspoon of it. Leave the rest for later. I'm going to mix this up into a little mixture like so. And it's not going to be much. This is not going to be a big mix, okay? Even if you made 8 or 10 of them, you're probably only going to get about a 2 or 4 ounce portion of this. And then we're going to go ahead and put it back in the bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and take the mixture now and place that in a bowl. I want to get as much of that out of there as I can. And then I'm going to place this in the freezer or the cooler, depending on what time frame you're working with. Cooler for 30 minutes, freezer for 5, okay? Okay, as I said, you want to keep the bowl, so we're going to use this bowl again. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the basil, I'm going to put that in the bowl here. And then I'm going to take the olive oil and put that in the bowl. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the lemon and squeeze that in there like so. That's why I said don't use all the lemon. And if you've got some pepper, just put a little pepper in there. And go ahead and take a whisk. And just whisk that around. You'll see real quick that it gets to almost like a dressing consistency. And that's because the lemon and the olive oil are reacting together and emulsifying. So you're making somewhat of like a vinaigrette without the vinegar. Alright? So now you're going to put this in a bowl and put this in a place to chill it as well. So we're going to get a small little bowl like this. And we'll just go ahead and put our mixture inside. And again, you can put this in the cooler for about 5 minutes, and that's all you're going to really need. It can stay in the cooler for up to 2 days, but basically it's only going to take about 5 minutes to chill. So we're going to do that now. Okay, now the next step, and this is the last step, is we've got our strips of salmon, we've got our stuffing here from our mixture that was either in the fridge or the freezer. It should be pretty firm. You don't want this to be very liquidy at all, okay? It should be like almost like a pliable paste. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our strips of salmon, put them right here, and I'm going to do one of these with you, and then we'll finish them all off, and then we'll get ready to the final serving stage. I'm going to take a little bit of my sauce, not a lot, about maybe a half teaspoon, and I'm going to place that at one end of the salmon, like so. Okay? And I'm just going to roll it like a burrito. Just like that. Okay? And I'm going to have a plate nearby where I can put this on a plate. Alright? And then I'm going to go ahead and just place this on a plate like so, and then put this to one side. Okay, I'm going to finish the rest of the salmon now. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, there you are. I've got my 6 salmon rolls ready to go. In the case of these two, I might cut these when I chill them, and then I'll end up with 8 anyway, but it's really up to you. I'm going to do that because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to put these in the freezer for about 5 minutes or in the cooler for about 30. Same thing with the sauce, just to keep it nice and chilled and nice and soft. Now while we're waiting for that, I just want to show you what I'm going to do. I have a bunch of these things that I get from catering companies that sell me all sorts of disposable ware. These are really cool. You can get them on the internet. There's plastic spoons. But the cool thing about them is that you can just lean them up like that. And they're like 10-15 cents a piece. So you can do that, or you can use your regular spoon. I prefer to use forks. So you know, you can take a fork and you can put that on a plate too. And get like a real large plate and then just circle forks like that. But not a lot of people have 30 forks in their silverware box. So sometimes disposable ware is a great thing to do. And of course it depends if it's formal or not. If it's informal, it's just friends, then just go to the store and get some plastic spoons. But these kind of make it a little more elegant. I'll show you how I'm going to serve this up in just a few moments. Okay, so here we are. We've got a couple spoons on this plate. I'm going to show you how we're going to get this decorated in just a second. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our salmon rolls. And our salmon rolls should be nice and chilled now. They'll be firm and soft on the inside. We're going to take our salmon roll and we're just simply going to place it on the spoon like so. And then of course we need our little dressing, so we're going to go get that dressing next. And this dressing should be nice and firm now, so we're going to just go ahead and mix that around just a little more. Make sure we get a lot of that basil up on the top there. Get a nice spoonful of that basil and dressing there, and just pour it a little bit over the salmon. You don't want too much, just enough to cover the salmon. And then once you've done that, folks, I mean, realistically, this is ready to be served. You got nice little fresh herb on there. You got nice little dressing there. You really want to top that off, and this is optional, but I always have a small jar of caviar because it lasts so long in the refrigerator. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take just a little bit of caviar, And I'm just gonna put that on the top of the salmon. And this is salmon caviar, so it goes with it. And there you are, ladies and gentlemen. An outstanding appetizer to be served Palean style to your guests for the holidays or just for a party or a corporate event, whatever you want to do. It completely stays within your diet, and nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever know that you made them a Palean appetizer. My salmon canape in spoon. Bon appetit.